Welcome back to entertainment. You know, I always love entertainment. It's always an insight into loads of things that are happening around us. And today, obviously, we really do like to encourage you to keep your noses, I don't know if noses is a word, your nose or noses, in the books. Keep reading. We are joined by our in-house bookworm, Audrey Chirenje. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Marisa. I love that name, by the way, resident bookworm.
Yes. She's our resident. It is very good and encouraging that, you know, you're always really devoted to this. Do you know what I mean? I have been following you also on Facebook, so I'm seeing, oh, there's loads of authors out there that we really don't know about.
Lots of them.
Yeah, and today we are talking about Dr. Mejury Chipato. Now, you know, just looking at this book, guys, it's just, you know, it's just her. And the title is, I'm in charge of my narrative. Wow. What is this book about? Short story, short synopsis.
Short one. So she talks about her life. It's also at the bottom of the book. It says, Memoir of Resilience. So it talks about how she started off in the rural area. Then she moved to Mbare. We all know Mbare.
Yeah.
It's famous for a whole lot of other negative things. She went through her life there up to high school. And then from there, she managed to get a scholarship to university. And then there's more of that in the book.
And this is very good. I mean, talking about her perspective and her life, a lot of people battle with the this notion of, oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, I didn't even go to an A grade school or a B grade school. Oh, this and that. How do you think people push through that mentality?
Okay, you know, when I was reading this book, to be honest, you know, I've read a lot of books, but this book was just gripping. In one chapter, she talks about how she fainted at school because she would go to school on an empty stomach. Wow. Her dad back then was a security guard. Her mom was a vendor, and then she would be also making clothes on the side. So, but with all that little income, they managed to push their children to school, and ultimately they even ended up owning a house. Wow. So I think the title is very prominent. I'm in charge of my narrative. I'm in charge of my narrative. I mean, hearing you talking about her life, the parents and things, I mean, the words that are popping out to me are resilience, overcoming, becoming. I mean, there are lessons in this book. What are some of the lessons that we can draw from this book? Okay, so I also like her style of writing because she's not preaching, she's not, you know, the famous Bible bashing at you. Yeah. She's sharing her journey, and then she encourages the reader to also just put themselves in their situation and see hope. So, for example, I think when she wrote her O-levels, the results were delayed, so they ended up using O-level midterm results. So she ended up being put in the commercials class, but she always wanted to be a doctor. Wow. So she actually did a few months in the commercials, but eventually had the courage to go and say, after the results then came, to say, no, please put me in the sciences class. So you see that resilience from that young age. Fighting for what she believed for. And I mean, this lady, she's got a massive portfolio. She's a businesswoman. She's a doctor as well. She's a microbiologist, a mother, and she's just been ordained a pastor. Ordained pastor, yes. My goodness. Not yet a mother, though, but she's now an ordained. Not yet a mother, okay. Yes, ordained pastor. So you find that her journey of being a doctor wasn't as easy as, because some people, they just go to school, get their A's, and then go and do their medicine. Yeah. So she had to do a degree in microbiology first because she couldn't get into medicine in Algeria. And then she finished that. Then she went to reapply again. So she was in the dean's office like 5 times. Just reapplying for what she really wanted to. Reapplying. And I do understand she did study medicine in China. In China. Yes. So she ended up leaving Algeria and then applied to go to China to pursue her medicine dream. It was a dream. Yeah. And she went after it. And you know what? I was just reading that, you know, even when she was saying with China, they actually refused her initially and said, well, you're too old to be doing medicine. But she persevered and actually just says, hey, I'm doing this and this is it. And you know, one of the quotes from the book, it says, stop giving yourself timelines. Okay, stop dealing with people's timelines, stop giving up prematurely, and stop giving excuses. Press on and don't give up. In this day and age, Audrey, I really do see, like, okay, say for me, example, let's say I'm 50, okay, and I don't have a degree. I mean,
what should I do about it? Should I just keep going? What's your perspective on that? Do you think it's actually a blessing to just keep doing it, or is that, oh, you're too old anyway, so what do you think you're going to do? Because, people say you lose strength as you get older.
So this quote actually resonated with me. I only wrote my first book when I was 40 years old.
Wow.
And now I'm 45. And now I'm in
You're
this...
45? I thought you were like 16.
And now I'm in this book world. I'm all about books.
Yeah.
But I have my first career and all that. So you can change your career. You can change the name people address you to. Only if you go after it by yourself. No one else can do it for you, but you can do it for yourself.
And I think, even looking at this book, it's more like a motivational. Would you put it in the motivational category?
It's actually both, because in the one section, she's narrating a story, and then motivation in the other section. And then the last section of the book, she's actually now like telling you to set your goals, the whole SMART goals, SWOT analysis. She's actually getting deeper into it and just questioning you. So by the time you finish reading this book, you'll definitely change your life.
You really would, hey?
Yes.
Taking notes all the way. And I love, she's a pastor, and I mean, most of her quotes in here are speaking about the Bible. And I know that, we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. Your perspective on testimonies, whether you're a Christian or whether you're not, what is your perspective on that?
My perspective is, like you rightly said, whether you're a Christian or not, those motivational speakers that are talking about their lives, that's a testimony. So whether they go to church or not, if you just share what happened to you and how you overcame, that's a testimony. Testimonies are always very powerful because people in the same situation cannot relate. So I find like someone in Bari right now, someone in Mabuku, in Tafara, can read this book and say, oh, okay, so she also went to hot sitting in school. She also went to school hungry and whatnot. And they can say, okay, if she did it, then I can do it. So it's very powerful.
Okay, that's very good. Audrey, another thing an observation really that I've seen is many people are writing motivational stuff, because is it easier to start writing motivational stuff about your life and everything else pertaining to the creative aspect, the novels and, things like that? What's your perspective on that? Are there enough creative content rather than motivational content, do you find?
Okay, I think personally in Zimbabwe, ever since I started being in this book world, I'll say there are more motivational books than fiction. I think fiction takes a special
mind.
Yes.
Yeah. A production theater in your head.
Exactly. So you find that. And then also people are so quick to judge fiction versus motivational, because someone can then just say, okay, this is my life. So I think people shy away from fiction. But as I was reading her book, I was actually saying,
there's some fiction in here as well.
Dr. MJ can actually write a fiction book and she'll be good at it.
So one of the things that Miles Monroe also said, he says, when you look into a graveyard, what do you see? You see a lot of books. That's like, it's rich with books because every life has a story to tell. And from my observation, my perspective, I actually do think that, hey, reading somebody's bio or reading somebody's story is actually very fictitious. It's their life, and you can't believe that people actually went through that. This lady actually had to live in Bari, sell clothes, and then get to school. It's a drama in itself, I believe.
No, you're actually right. And she quoted that quote in that book about the graveyard being so rich with ideas,
books,
so many ideas.
Well, there you have it. Where do we find this book?
Okay, so the publisher here in Harare has got the book, and then it's also on Amazon online. You can also find it in China, and just get this book. Anyone must read this book.
Anyone must read this book. And is she on social media? I mean, what's her social media handle?
On all platforms, Dr. Mejury Chipato, and she's so stylish, as you can see.
Yes.
So now she's got a shoe brand, handbags, also philanthropy. She's also she's got a trust sponsoring other kids. So she's an amazing woman.
Okay, and how much is this book going for?
$15.
$15. There you have it, guys. $15. The publisher. Who's the publisher?
The publisher is I don't know how to pronounce this. It's Atcumbre.
I think it's Atcumber Publisher.
Yes.
Atcumber. They have this book, Atcumber Publisher. You can find her on social media. Her name is Dr. Mejury Chipato. She has an amazing book, a memoir of resilience, and I think that this will really benefit you who have always looked down on yourself, you who have struggled to get out of the trenches. Dr. Mejury's book is actually really going to give you a little bit of a boost, huh?
Definitely.
Absolutely.